The sun, the sand, the waves, summer's symphony. A time for laughter, relaxation, and memories under a bright, endless sky. The beach, a haven, beckons us with promises of joy and escape. Children build castles, their laughter echoing the sea's rhythm. Couples stroll, lost in their world. The sunset painting the sky. The air vibrates with life and carefree abandon. But even in paradise, shadows lurk. The ocean holds secrets in its depths. As the sun dips below the horizon, those secrets rise. Remember, within summer's bliss, nightmares can take root. The ocean, a source of life and wonder, can also be a place of immense power and unpredictable fury. Its depths conceal mysteries yet to be unraveled, creatures yet to be understood. Beneath the surface, unseen currents swirl, capable of dragging the unsuspecting into their grasp. Riptides, silent and deadly, lie in wait, a constant reminder of the ocean's raw power. Even the most seasoned beachgoers treat the ocean with respect, for they know that its beauty can be deceiving. The night stretched out before them, a canvas of darkness sprinkled with stars. The air, still warm from the day's sun, carried the scent of salt and seaweed. The gentle rhythm of the waves provided a soothing backdrop to their laughter. They had come to the beach, seeking escape, a night of carefree fun under the open sky. The air crackled with excitement. Graduation loomed, a tantalizing promise of freedom on the horizon. School held little allure now. Their futures shimmered with possibility. Summer beckoned, an endless expanse of sun-drenched days and star-filled nights. Armand, the life of the party, exuded infectious energy. Chuck, laid back and quick-witted, provided a steady counterpoint. Together, they formed an unbreakable trio, their friendship forged in shared experiences. The car hugged the curves of the coastal road, the windows rolled down to allow the cool night air to wash over them. Music pulsed, a vibrant counterpoint to the rhythmic roar of the engine. Inside the vehicle, a world of their own unfolded. Jokes flew back and forth, punctuated by bursts of laughter. The driver, navigating the familiar twists and turns, glanced periodically in the rearview mirror, reflecting shared excitement. The car rolled to a stop, its headlights momentarily illuminating a dirt path. Silence descended, broken only by the rhythmic crash of waves. They emerged from the car, stretching limbs stiff from the drive. The sand, cool beneath their bare feet, yielded with each step. The sound of the surf beckoned, drawing them towards the ocean. The stars blazed with an intensity that stole their breath. A shiver ran down Sophia's spine, a prickle of unease. She tensed, her senses on high alert. Beside her, the object of her affections lay oblivious. "Do you hear that?" Her voice, a hushed whisper, hung in the air. He turned towards her, confused. "Hear what?" She strained to identify the sound, a low hum, barely audible. "There's something out there," she whispered, scanning the darkness. The car journey back was a stark contrast to their earlier drive. Silence in the car was heavy, punctuated by nervous glances. Pulling into Chuck's driveway, exhaustion washed over him. His phone buzzed. AirTag found moving with you. His stomach clenched. Someone had been tracking them. Frantically, he searched the car, finding the tracking device. He ripped it free, smashing it against the asphalt. He knew with chilling certainty this was just the beginning. The humid summer air hung heavy with the scent of salt and seagrass. Ricardo and I sought solace in the familiar embrace of the beach. The rhythmic crash of the waves held a strange comfort tonight. The beers, cool and refreshing, fueled our conversations. For a while, we lay back on the sand, gazing at the star-dusted sky. A subtle shift in the atmosphere snagged my attention. The hairs on the back of my neck prickled with awareness. "Did you hear that?" I whispered, betraying my unease. Ricardo, still gazing at the sky, tilted his head slightly. "Hear what?" he asked. "That buzzing sound." I strained to identify the source. The buzzing intensified, morphing into a mechanical drone. Ricardo scrambled to his feet, fear in his eyes. "Let's go," he whispered, barely audible above the drone. We ran, our bare feet pounding against the sand. The drone followed us, relentless in its pursuit. The beach, once a haven, now felt like a hunting ground. We crested a particularly high dune, our lungs burning, our legs screaming for respite. Below us, the beach stretched out like a silver ribbon in the moonlight. But it was the sight that greeted us at the crest of the dune that stopped us dead in our tracks, our blood turning to ice in our veins. There, silhouetted against the moonlit sky, stood a group of figures. They were impossibly tall, their limbs elongated and grotesquely thin, their bodies unnaturally still, like mannequins, posed in some macabre tableau. They stood in complete silence, their gazes fixed on us, their very presence radiating an aura of menace that chilled us to the bone. Terror, primal and instinctual, surged through me, short-circuiting all rational thought. My breath caught in my throat. My heart pounded against my ribs like a caged animal desperate to escape. Beside me, I heard Ricardo gasp, his hand shooting out to grip my arm in a vice-like grip. We stared, transfixed by the sight before us, our minds struggling to process the impossible. The figures remained motionless, their silence somehow more terrifying than any sound they could have made. It was as if they were waiting for us, their patience as unnerving as their appearance. Ricardo's grip on my arm tightened, snapping me out of my trance. "Don't look back," he hissed, his voice tight with fear. "Just keep running." We didn't need to be told twice. We plunged down the opposite side of the dune, our legs pumping, our lungs screaming for air. The figures, their presence burned into our minds, fueled our desperate flight. We didn't dare look back, terrified of what we might see. We ran until we could run no more, our bodies spent, our minds reeling from the night's events. We collapsed on the side of the road miles from where we had parked our bikes, our chests heaving, our clothes torn and sweat-soaked. The next morning, we returned to the beach, our hearts heavy with dread. The bikes were gone. The only evidence of our encounter, the only proof that we had not imagined the entire terrifying ordeal, was a single flip-flop lying abandoned on the sand, a silent testament to the night we had stared into the abyss and lived to tell the tale. The buzzing sound, the grotesque figures, the vanished bikes, they remain etched in my memory, a chilling reminder that even in the most familiar of places, darkness lurks, and some secrets are best left buried beneath the waves. The salt-laced air hung thick with the promise of adventure. Long Island's gentle breeze whispered through the dunes, carrying the scent of sunscreen and seagrass. The sun, a benevolent god in a cloudless sky, bathed the world in a warm, golden light. Summer, in all its carefree glory, had arrived. For 3 teenagers, Charles, Riley, and myself, This wasn't just another summer. It was an escape from the mundane, a foray into a realm of boundless freedom and tantalizing possibilities. Charles's beach house, a sanctuary of weathered wood and panoramic ocean views, stood as a testament to our shared dreams of endless summers and unforgettable memories. The house itself seemed to hum with an energy all its own, its walls whispering tales of laughter-filled gatherings and clandestine late-night escapades. Each room held the promise of adventure, each creaking step a reminder that we were far from the watchful eyes of parents and the stifling confines of our everyday lives. We were young, invincible, and utterly unprepared for the terror that awaited us beneath the veneer of summer's idyllic facade. The beach house, our sanctuary, would soon become a prison, its walls echoing with our fear, its windows reflecting the darkness that lurked just beyond the reach of the porch light. The lagoon, a shimmering ribbon of silver under the setting sun, held an almost hypnotic allure. Its surface, usually placid and inviting, seemed to ripple with an unspoken tension tonight. The air, thick with the scent of salt and sea air, crackled with an unseen energy, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that sent shivers down our spines. We were gathered around the pool, the rhythmic splash of water blending with the infectious beat of music, pulsing from a nearby speaker. The girls, their laughter echoing across the water, provided a welcome distraction from the unsettling feeling that had settled over me as the sun dipped below the horizon. Charles, his gaze fixed on something in the distance, abruptly lowered the volume of the music. "Hey, do you guys see that?" His voice, usually brimming with carefree confidence, held a tremor of unease that immediately caught our attention. I followed his gaze, my eyes scanning the opposite shore of the lagoon, where a cluster of houses stood silhouetted against the darkening sky. At first, I saw nothing unusual, just the faint glow of porch lights and the gentle sway of palm trees in the evening breeze. Then I saw them. 3 figures, their shapes distorted by the fading light, stood motionless on the dock of the house directly across from us. They were too far away to discern any details, but their presence, their unwavering gaze fixed on our house, sent a chill down my spine. Panic, raw and immediate, seized us. The girls screamed, their carefree laughter replaced by a chorus of terrified shrieks. Riley, his face pale and drawn, slammed the sliding door shut with a resounding thud, the sound echoing our own frantic heartbeats. "What are they doing?" Sophie's voice, barely a whisper, trembled with a fear that mirrored our own. "I don't know," Charles stammered, his eyes darting to the windows, as if expecting the figures to materialize on the other side of the glass. "But they're not supposed to be there. That house is supposed to be empty." We huddled together in the living room, the curtains drawn tight. The house plunged into an eerie darkness, broken only by the flickering light of the television. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside the windows, sent our imaginations into overdrive, our minds conjuring up images of shadowy figures, closing in on our sanctuary. Time seemed to stretch and distort, each passing second an eternity as we waited. Our nerves stretched taut, our senses on high alert. The silence, broken only by our own ragged breathing, was deafening. Then we heard it, a series of distinct splashes, evenly spaced and chillingly close, coming from the direction of the lagoon. They were in the water, swimming towards our house. We didn't wait to see what they wanted. Instinct took over, the primal urge to flee overriding any semblance of rational thought. We scrambled to our feet, our movements clumsy and uncoordinated in our haste to escape the encroaching darkness. "The back door!" Riley shouted, his voice hoarse with panic. We raced through the darkened house, our bare feet slapping against the hardwood floors. Fear lent us speed, propelling us toward the back door, our only escape route. As we fumbled with the lock, I glanced over my shoulder, my heart seizing in my chest. A figure, tall and impossibly thin, its features obscured by the darkness, stood silhouetted in the doorway leading to the hallway. It hadn't made a sound, but its presence, its unwavering gaze fixed on us, spoke volumes. We burst through the back door and into the night, our lungs burning, our legs pumping as we sprinted towards Riley's car, our only lifeline in a sea of uncertainty. Behind us, we heard the sounds of pursuit, the pounding of footsteps and the frantic shouts of our pursuers. Their voices a terrifying counterpoint to the frantic beat of our own hearts. The police, their faces grim in the flashing red and blue lights of their patrol cars, found no sign of forced entry, no evidence of the intruders who had invaded our sanctuary and shattered our sense of security. The house, once a haven of laughter and carefree abandon, now felt cold and empty, its silence heavy with unspoken truths. We never spoke of that night again, but its memory lingered, a shadow cast over our once bright summer. The beach house, once a symbol of freedom and endless possibilities, became a reminder of our vulnerability, of the darkness that lurks just beneath the surface of even the most idyllic paradise. The lagoon, its surface now calm and serene in the light of day, held a new kind of terror for us, its depths concealing secrets best left undisturbed. We had stared into the abyss, and the abyss had stared back. And in that exchange, a part of our innocence, our carefree joy, had been lost forever. Summer, with its promise of sun-drenched days and starlit nights, often lulls us into a false sense of security. We shed the weight of our everyday worries, embracing the carefree abandon that comes with warm breezes and the rhythmic lull of ocean waves. But beneath the surface of this idyllic facade, a darker truth lingers. As these stories so chillingly illustrate, even in paradise, shadows lurk. Each tale, drawn from the depths of personal experience, serves as a stark reminder that the boundary between our world and the unknown is often fragile, easily breached by forces we cannot comprehend. The drone's watchful eye, the grotesque figures emerging from the darkness, the home invasion that shattered the illusion of safety. These are not merely the products of overactive imaginations, but chilling glimpses into a realm where logic and reason hold no sway. These experiences, though unsettling, offer valuable lessons. They teach us that even in the most familiar of settings, vigilance is paramount. They remind us that the world is not always as it seems, that beneath the veneer of normalcy, danger can lurk, waiting for the opportune moment to reveal itself. The beach, with its vast expanse of open sky and the rhythmic crashing of waves, often serves as a sanctuary, a place where we can escape the confines of our everyday lives and reconnect with a sense of peace and tranquility. Yet, as these stories so vividly demonstrate, this sense of peace can be shattered in an instant, replaced by a primal fear that speaks to our deepest vulnerabilities. The protagonists in these tales, young, carefree, and eager to embrace the adventures that summer promises, find themselves thrust into situations that test the very limits of their courage and resilience. They are forced to confront the unknown, to grapple with the terrifying realization that they are not alone, that something sinister is watching, waiting, and ultimately hunting them. These encounters leave an indelible mark, forever altering their perceptions of the world around them. The carefree abandon of youth is replaced by a heightened sense of awareness, a constant vigilance that colors their every interaction, their every decision. The world, once a place of endless possibilities, now seems fraught with unseen dangers, its beauty forever tainted by the shadows of their experiences. In the aftermath of these chilling encounters, we are left to grapple with a profound sense of unease. The stories linger in our minds, their details etched into our subconscious, a constant reminder that the world can be a dark and unpredictable place. Yet, within these tales of terror, there lies a glimmer of hope, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The protagonists, though shaken to their core, emerge from their ordeals, forever changed. They have stared into the abyss and lived to tell the tale. They have confronted their fears and emerged, not unscathed, but stronger, more resilient, more attuned to the subtle nuances of the world around them. These experiences, though terrifying, have forged within them a new kind of strength, a fierce determination to protect themselves and those they love from the darkness that lurks at the edges of our perception. They have become, in a sense, guardians at the gate, their stories serving as cautionary tales, reminding us to be vigilant, to be aware, and to never underestimate the power of the unknown. As we bask in the warm embrace of summer, let us remember these tales of terror, not as a source of paralyzing fear, but as a call to action, a reminder to cherish the precious fragility of life and to stand guard against the shadows that threaten to extinguish its light.